So is everyone brand new here today? Not been to Chenrezig before? Oh, okay. You found the vital things, the chai, the loo, lunch, all the essentials. So today we're going to have a little bit of relaxation, breathing meditation first, and then I'll talk a little bit about the next. We're going to do a meditation on compassion. I'll talk a little bit about what that means in Buddhism, because, you know, we all want to develop compassion. We all want other people to treat us with compassion. But, you know, there's very many definitions if you ask someone to define compassion. So we'll talk a little bit about that, then have the meditation. So in meditation, there's this traditional way of sitting, which is very helpful. I used to be able to sit that way myself, but if you all the things that are related to that, we can now put on chairs. 2,500 years ago, a lot of people just sat, and in some countries now still, they sit very easily on the floor, and we all could when we were kindergarten kids, so now not so much. So the main thing about being comfortable is that your mind is not distracted by discomfort in your body. The meditation itself is an activity of the mind, and so, you know, if our body's got an aching back or a sore knee or something, our mind just gets distracted to that all the time. So that's the main thing about it, just to be comfortable. And some people can meditate lying down, but I'm not good at that either, because then I just meditate off to sleep. And there are walking meditations, all sorts of different meditations, but we're not going to do that today. So traditionally, in this particular tradition of Buddhism, we'd have our hands like this, the right on top of the left. And this is to get us in the habit of this, because the great meditators who, you know, meditate for hours at a time, if their thumbs fall, it means they've lost concentration, but most of us lose concentration a bit sooner than that and have shorter meditation. We're not having 3 hours of meditation. Don't worry. So if you have your arms a little bit away from your body, it just helps prevent too much heat building up in your body. And so having your back relatively straight, not leaning too much to one side or the other. But most important is not to try and force your body into any particular way of being, not rigidly upright. And we've all got different versions of what's come. And that's, remember, we're looking for comfort, not rigidity. We want to be able to relax. So whatever's going to be comfortable for you. So you can have your eyes a little bit open and look down in your lap, or if you get distracted by that, you can just close your eyes. It's only to prevent you getting distracted to visual things. If you have your teeth a little bit apart, that can help relax a lot of the muscles in the lower part of your face. A little smile. If you can comfortably breathe through your nose, then having your mouth closed is helpful, but we have to be kind to ourselves. And if you have to change position during the meditation, that's okay too. Just do it gently. And so to deepen our relaxation, we're just going to have a little meditation about that, about how to make our body feel more relaxed. So if you just bring your attention to the very topmost part of your head and just let a strong sense of relaxation develop there. And then imagine that relaxed feeling just travelling very gently down through your forehead, your eyelids, your cheeks, checking those jaw muscles haven't tightened up. Let that relaxed feeling travel down the sides of your head, through the back of your head, and then inside your head, through your skull, into your brain. Just let that sense of relaxation penetrate every cell, every tiny particle of your brain and the rest of your head. And then let that sense of relaxation travel down through your neck and your throat. Let that relaxed feeling flow out across your shoulders. So all those big muscles there completely relax. Then let it travel all the way down your back. So your whole back becomes completely relaxed. Letting that relaxed feeling travel from your shoulders down into your chest, the external muscles of your chest that expand when we breathe in and out, and also the internal organs of your chest, the heart, the lungs, then into your abdomen, relaxing all those internal organs and muscles as well. And this relaxed feeling just travels slowly down through the upper parts of your legs and your knees, through the lower parts of your legs, your ankles and feet, all the way down to your toes. Allow that relaxed feeling to travel from your shoulders down through the upper parts of your arms, through your elbows and the lower parts of your arms, through your wrists and your hands, all the way down to the tips of your fingers. So do your best to keep your body in this relaxed state for the rest of this time we're together, and try to become very familiar with what your body feels like when it is completely relaxed. The more familiar we are with it, the more we're able to just check our body. Is there tension building up? Allow ourselves to relax in a very short time. But first, we have to be familiar with what it feels like to just let all our muscles completely relax. And then bring your attention to your breath, not trying to change anything about the rate of your breath or how deeply you're breathing. Just being aware of the breath gently coming and going. Your body knows how deep a breath, how frequent a breath. We're just training our mind to focus on one thing, to be totally concentrated just on that gentle ebb and flow of the breath. So definitely we keep breathing even if we don't pay attention, but this is to train our minds to be focused on one thing, and this helps us develop our concentration and strengthen it so that even when not in meditation, we've got stronger concentration, stronger ability to focus on whatever it is we want to focus on. So we all had a reason for coming here today, some positive reason, a wish to find out more, whatever it might be, something that would benefit us. So we can extend that motivation. We can think that may this meditation, my effort in it, bring about greater peace, greater happiness, more positive thoughts for myself, but for all other beings as well. And then when you're ready, just slowly open your eyes. So as I said, our main meditation is going to be on, hopefully you all feel a bit relaxed now, but our main meditation's on compassion. So in this particular tradition, because they have to translate the different languages that Buddhism was traditionally taught into English. And so compassion's the wish that all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. So, and as I said, we really appreciate when people help us when we're suffering. So then gradually we can develop our mind to extend that to more and more people. So Chenrezig is the Buddha of compassion, and Lama Yeshe gave the name of Chenrezig Institute to this centre. And Chenrezig, it said, has 108 different ways of being depicted, but the main way for us is this image here in the centre of the altar, 1,000-armed Chenrezig, but there are 2-armed Chenrezig, 4-armed Chenrezig, standing, sitting. And so in this image, there's 1,000 arms. You can count them if you like. Hopefully the artist got it right. And in each hand is an eye. And this is said to be, to see all the suffering, we'd need 1,000 eyes, and then we'd need 1,000 arms to help all those that need our help. So all of the different images that there are these sorts of, this sort of symbolism in the different ways the hands are held and that sort of thing. But you have to ask the artists about what they all mean. And the different colours mean different things as well. So in general, when we're talking about developing compassion within Buddhism, we're thinking about developing this because we're wanting to progress along the spiritual path and achieve nirvana or enlightenment, whichever your goal is. And so the Buddhas have ultimate wisdom, ultimate compassion, and ultimate capacity to help. So we would try, as followers of Buddha, to try and develop that within ourselves. So are there any questions? No? Okay. So in this meditation we're going to do, we look at, first of all, we look at developing compassion for ourselves. And so this can sometimes be the most difficult things. We try to develop patience, we try to develop compassion, we try to develop kindness, all these different things. But for many people, the most difficult thing is to develop compassion for ourselves. If someone else is sick or unwell or something, we'll have compassion for that person. We'll offer to do their shopping or their washing or whatever. But when it's ourselves that's sick, then we're like, I should just be able to do this myself. We don't have that same level of, I'm suffering and I can't, it's going to hurt me. If I try and do this, I'm going to get more tired, more unwell, which we wouldn't think that way about someone else. So it's quite a step to take. But we can often think about times when we've maybe pushed a bit far. We're often more judgmental about ourselves than we are about other people. So hopefully we can find a reason to develop compassion for ourselves as well. So just getting back into that nice, comfortable position, relaxed. If you want to change position, now's a good time. Finding a way to just be settled, letting your body settle. Remembering this is about our body being comfortable. So then we can ignore it. It's not going to distract us. So just sitting quietly, bring your attention back to the breath to focus the mind. So the traditional aspiration in developing compassion would be, may I be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. So this is when we're developing compassion for ourselves. And you can repeat that a couple of times under your breath. And if you've got particular suffering, you can make it more specific to that particular thing that's bothering you. Just put it into your own words. If we don't have suffering at the moment, that's excellent. But most of us can remember times when we've had suffering for whatever reason. And we can think about how awful that felt. None of us want to have suffering. If someone helped us, how much we appreciated that. We appreciated their compassion. So having cultivated compassion for ourselves, we can move on to someone who we feel really close to and have that wish for them to be free of suffering. And as I said, it can be easier to wish our relatives to be free of suffering, especially parents. When children are suffering, they often say, I wish it was me experiencing this toothache or whatever. It would be easier than for my child to have this suffering. So we can put it into words specific to whatever it is we might remember or might be the experience we have now. For example, may my aunt be free of suffering, the causes of suffering, may her arthritis be relieved, whatever it might be. In the next step, we visualise a friend and cultivate the wish that they can be free of their suffering. So we can always use that traditional aspiration, or we can be very specific, such as, may my friend be free of the anger and impatience which brings them so much suffering. So try and contact a deep feeling within you of compassion, how much you do wish these people that you know be free of their suffering. So next we cultivate a wish for a neutral person to be free of suffering and its causes. So a neutral person is a stranger, someone we don't really know. We might see people when we're at the shops, or someone, a neighbour we don't know really well at all. Or we can also develop compassion for people we've never met and probably will never meet. And so it can seem quite difficult to generate compassion for these people. But if we think about those who we pass on the street, whatever it might be, those we see in the news, we can have the wish that they be free of all the different sufferings in their lives. So for many of these strangers, there's nothing we can physically do that contributes to relieving their suffering, but we can still have that wish. We can still work to develop this aspiration towards these people. And this begins to dissolve feelings we might have of separation or indifference towards certain people, certain groups of people, people we don't know. So it's an important step for us to cultivate, because then we meet someone who we don't know, but there is something we can do, then we're ready to do that. We have compassion for them right away. So in the next step, we cultivate compassion for someone who we find difficult in our lives. So we start one with someone we just find mildly irritating, or a group of people that we might find mildly irritating. You know, someone who parks in an odd way and we can't get into our car park, whatever it might be. So we're just practicing. In time, we can work up to developing compassion for other people, but it can seem quite unreasonable initially to develop compassion for people we fear or dislike. But if we keep in mind that when we close off our hearts against someone, we harm ourselves. So this doesn't mean we have to have contact, physical contact with a person, anything like that. It's just, this is about developing our mind. When we close off our hearts, we strengthen negative habits in our minds, negative habits like anger or fear, bitterness, and we're uncomfortable then we are suffering. So the most compassionate thing that we can do for ourselves and for others is to interrupt these habits, these mental habits, and create new positive ones in their place. So we bring to mind the mildly irritating person, maybe say their name, and then whatever words are appropriate, such as, may this person who irritates me be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. So with this small gesture of developing compassion, this can help us in whatever interactions we have with the person. And we can sometimes help us see that what we're irritated about is actually brought about because the person is suffering. So developing this small gesture of compassion within our minds can begin to dissolve our numbness, apathy, indifference towards the suffering of countless living beings in the world, not just the ones we know, but countless others as well. And next, we make a compassionate aspiration for ourselves, for our relative, for our friend, for the neutral person or stranger, for the difficult one, all together. Recognising that every one of us wishes to be free of suffering, just as we wish to be free of suffering. So here we're wishing that all of us equally be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. Whatever the suffering might be, whatever the causes might be, that we be free of those. And so this aspiration helps us to cultivate our natural inclination to reach out to others, to help them in their suffering, and it reduces our tendency to close off our minds, to be shut off from others. And then in the final step, we imagine extending this compassionate wish out to a larger and larger circle of beings. First of all, to all the beings here on Chenrezig Institute today. We don't know them all, not at all, but we can wish that they be free of suffering. We can extend that out to all of the beings here on the Sunshine Coast. To all the beings in Queensland. To all those currently in Australia. All the beings and all the lands of this planet. To all those that are in the waters of this planet. To all those in the air and in space around this planet. And eventually out to all beings in this entire universe. Just letting that soft compassion of your heart vibrate out to all the beings that exist. So just spend a few moments focusing on that compassion, reflect on how much we appreciate when people are compassionate towards us in our suffering. Maybe generate a wish that when you have contact with someone who has suffering, that your compassion is strong and you can help them in whatever way is possible for you. We cannot help everyone. Buddha came to this earth. Jesus came to this earth. Muhammad came to this earth. Many others saying we need to help those who are suffering, but still they're suffering. So if we have compassion in our hearts, when the opportunity arises for us, we can help people. So this is why we try to develop our compassion.